Hey, welcome back. We're so happy to have you listening. And for those of you who are new, welcome. We're honored to have you. We're certified health and wellness coaches who met in the executive coaching graduate program at Georgetown University. I'm Kaylin Serena Stanton.
I'm Kit Noonan. Together, we're the heart of Soulful Wellness. And once you joined in, together we all became the Soulful Society, a group of like-minded folks on a journey to live as even better versions of ourselves. A huge thank you, dear listeners, from the bottom of our hearts, all those of you who have reached out in the past couple weeks with kind words of support or caring or just hang in there. We really appreciate your thoughts, your wishes. It means a lot. I'll give a quick update, or for anybody new, I had rotator cuff surgery at the very end of July. Do not recommend. Don't hurt your rotator cuffs. First week was tough, so much tougher than I thought it was going to be. It was dark, but I really turned a corner, honestly, at exactly 1 week. And from there, it's been up. After about another week, I was actually able to start sleeping through the nights. Good sign, necessary for recovery and all that. So thank you. Doing much, much better.
Baby steps, baby steps. This week's episode is a follow-up to last week's when we talked about 12 ways to recognize when anxiety is present. This week, we're discussing what to do about it with the 8 techniques to calm your anxious mind.
Love this content. I think it is perpetually timely, always bears repeating, and I'm happy to listen anew. I hope you are too.
Welcome back, Soulful Society, to Soulful of Wellness,
The multi-generational podcast brought to you by 2 functional imperfectionists
and certified coaches
who deliver tips to help you live your most authentic, balanced, and anxiety-free life. In today's episode, we're going over 8 simple grounding tools that you can practice in the moment to keep your anxiety at bay so you can live life with more ease and flow.
Thank you for joining us again for another week of wellness goodness. We are so happy to have you with us. And if you're new, welcome. Thanks for being here. We'd love to have you as a regular listener, a part of the Soulful Society. So if you enjoyed today's podcast, please consider following so you'll get a new episode of Wellness delivered automatically to your phone every Thursday morning.
If you have not yet rated and reviewed this podcast, we would love to have you help us out by tapping that 5th star and writing a few words to let us know how you feel about the podcast and let other people know what you think, so hopefully they can join in too. Although anxiety is unfortunately necessary for human survival, that doesn't mean we're completely powerless against it. It can be managed. The good news is that you are in the driver's seat. Piggybacking off last week's episode on hidden signs of stress and anxiety, this week we're having you build on that awareness of your triggers and your reactions to them so you can bring in these 8 grounding techniques.
Grounding techniques are exercises that help us stay in the present moment and are designed to return our bodies back to our baseline. A grounding technique is a natural coping strategy that tells your brain you're safe and okay. Just as your body knows how to activate panic, it also knows how to return to a state of calm through your parasympathetic nervous system. This week, what's coming up for us is anxiety, our very well-known friend and foe. And so we wanted to dive in to obviously help tame the anxiety gremlin, to help you feel in a state of flow, in a state of calmness, and giving you some tools that we haven't yet given on the podcast. We wanted to take this week through an angle of grounding because piggybacking off last week, we talked a lot about stress and overthinking and overwhelm and how that tends to be very heady, kind of airy, floating up in your head. So we want to get back to basics and ground down.
We're going to lead off with a tried and true favorite. This one will not come as a surprise to regular listeners. This one's not a new one, but it is our go-to favorite. It can be done anywhere. People around you don't even notice you're doing this. It is, you guessed it, square breathing.
Also known as box breathing. There's a reason why we think of this first, right? When I think about, as we're writing out the tools, I'm like, oh, obviously square breathing.
You don't need any special tools. You were going to breathe anyway. You can all count. So quick review of it. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, repeat at least 4 times, apply as needed.
Let's do it right now.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to guide us through it. Okay, inhale for a count of 4. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. And you'll repeat that again for as many times as you need, no matter where you are. The grocery store, your car. Last week, we talked about the subtle signs in your body, in your mind, in your behavior when anxiety arises. So once you have that awareness, then you can be able to implement these tools. So let's say you feel that tightness in your chest, you're in traffic, you're running late for something. We can try box breathing to get ourselves back to center.
I love it every time. And it never fails to help. 1 minute of a few rounds of box breathing always brings my anxiety down at least a couple notches and keeps it from, just getting away from me. Brings it back.
Right. It's like a lasso.
Right. That's
like reel it
is. It's what it is. And so I might not be perfect at the end of it, but I'm good enough that I can function as needed.
Yeah. I think the pause on the end of the inhale and the exhale is really what helps me, is reminding to hold the exhale and to hold the inhale.
I agree. And because that's honestly when you're breathing, the in and out part's happening. So
right.
It's
this
the
is more
holding
conscious,
that brings the increased awareness to everything your body's going through and gives my brain the space to calm down. Because when it's all sorts of fired up, it's full and it's on go and there's no room. And so this creates space in my brain to become more peaceful.
I love it. And we invite you to mix and match all of these tools. Take what resonates and leave the rest. So number 2, a morning ritual. And this does not have to be long. It can be for any amount of time that works for you. What if we experimented with not touching our phone for the first X amount of minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes? We can build on this. Because when we are coming from a space of external energy, right? As soon as you grab that phone, you're giving away your energy, whether you realize it consciously or not, whether it's checking a text message, an email, going on social media, whatever it may be, or setting an alarm for your day. That is external. So if we can protect our peace as much as possible and start our day off on the right foot of consciously putting that energy internally, then we can have more capacity for stress throughout our day because we've started it with honoring ourselves first.
I like to think of it as time that's just for me, because once I hit the ground running, it's not so much about me anymore. It's about my obligations, my responsibilities, my duties, what I need to be for other people, where I need to be for other people, the things that I need to do for my job and all the areas of my life. When I was younger, I always thought, I'm going to set the alarm for the last possible time I can set to get the most sleep I possibly can. And then once the alarm goes off, I'm just going to hit the ground running. And that worked for younger me. But the older I got, I don't know, the more anxious I got. So I've had to change my ways because what worked for me once upon a time no longer serves me well. And I've really changed my whole stance on that. I try to set myself up for a peaceful day.
It really sets the tone for your day.
Hopefully. Now I work on a different operating system.
adaptability as we grow and evolve and change. And so it's about taking that time for yourself, slowing down, getting centered and grounded before your day, before you give that energy to the outer world.
Tool number 3, visualization.
Again, another one. Yeah, you can do any place, any time.
Pick your happy place. I like to sit down for this. I don't know if that's part of my own grounding aspect of it. Standing's fine, but I prefer to sit or even lie down.
Close your eyes. Yes.
And just really immerse yourself so you're pretend really there. That's an oxymoron, but be pretend really there. It's the next best thing to escaping when you find yourself in those moments and you're just like, oh my God, I'd rather be anywhere but here. I wish I could just escape. But you can't, because maybe it's your job and you're paid to be there. But you can have a little mini mental escape. Goes a long way.
And you can even do a body scan, right? And visualize your cells all working happily together and your heart rate slowing down, and tap into your body, or just visualize yourself happy, healthy, in your happy place. This can really take you out of the moment of your fear and your rumination and your stress. Tool number 4, you know this is a favorite of mine, journaling. There is something about the act of pen to paper. Even you can type it out on your phone notes. I do that all the time when I don't have my journal handy. That allows space in your brain. It can be a brain dump. The sentences do not have to make sense. They don't even have to be sentences. It could be doodles. It could be drawing. It could be random words or feelings. Whatever it is, release it. Get it out of your head, out of your mind, and onto paper.
I did this at work one day last week. I was just feeling not crazy anxiety, but just that little bit of uncomfortable agitation in my body.
Yeah.
And I grabbed this little quarter sheet of paper and I wrote what I'm grateful for at the top, because that was just honestly, I didn't even plan it out. I just started writing.
Yeah.
I just started listing things, and then I just filled it with things that just popped into my head. There's no rhyme or reason. Some are big things, some are small things, some are silly things. It was just, I didn't censor it at all. I just put them all down. It felt really good. And then I thought, well, what am I going to do with this? So I stuck it in my purse. And then when I got home, once again, I thought, what am I going to do with this? So I stuck it in my dresser. And every morning when I open that drawer as I'm getting ready, I see it. And every time I see it, it conjures up those emotions again.
Oh, cute.
So none of this was planned, but it worked out so perfectly that little brain dump pulled me out of my funk in that moment. And then each day since, every time I see it, it brings me this little wave of happiness.
Love that. Proof's in the pudding. There you go. There's something that it's like transmuting the energy.
Yeah.
You're taking that headiness, that stress, those thoughts and the circular references in your brain, and you're spitting it out into words or art or anything. And you're transmuting the energy to create something out of it. Because often I feel like anxiety is just stuck energy.
Yeah.
Stuck thoughts that need a release. So, I love that. Love that
Yeah, and
story.
they're blocking something helpful behind them, but you can't access it because they're all in the way.
Yes, and journaling is the mode to accessing what are you really feeling? What are you really trying to get out of this? What do you really need right now?
Yes.
I love it.
Tool number 5, distract yourself.
Sometimes you just got to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
TV show.
Yep.
Listen to music. Phone a friend. It doesn't even have to be to talk about what's bugging you, just to literally redirect your thinking.
Yeah, maybe don't talk about what's bothering you. Just pick a different topic. Get yourself out of whatever's worrying you and just do anything else. Seriously, watch a movie.
Grab a crossword puzzle. Create a new thought pattern going in your brain.
Yeah, anything you can do to just get out of the circular reference and the cycle that you're in. We honestly don't care what you do. Just get out of your head.
Tool number 6, move that body.
Move her, shake her, Stretch it out. Take a walk. Take a 30-second ice cold shower. This is hard for us to do personally, but some people can do it. I commend you. That is challenging, but it really does shock your body into, okay, we are moving on from that.
Or even just taking a shower to kind of reset the day. Yeah. I rarely take a midday shower. So when I do, it sends an interesting signal to my brain. Mm-hmm. My brain's like, wait, are we starting a day? Are we wrapping up a day? We're in the middle of the day. What's going on? But it's enough to get my brain out of whatever it was doing. It confuses me, I guess, in a really good way at a time that my brain was ruminating and needed to snap out of it.
Combining two of our tools, I like to use a shower visualization. So like you, when I'm feeling in a funk or upset about something or really anxious, I'll take a shower. And sometimes, I know it sounds dramatic, I'll sit on the shower floor and just let the water pour over me and just wash away the energetics of that day, the situation, the thoughts. And sometimes I'll guide myself through my future self visualization.
I like the sitting down in the shower. I'd forgotten. I haven't done that in a long, long time.
Oh, it's liberating.
It is. And it also confuses my brain. My brain's all like, wait, hold on. We're in the shower. We're not in a bath. What are you doing? What's going on? And there's just something really different about the way the water hits you to change the whole line of thinking, which is exactly what I need sometimes.
Yeah. You could say mantras or affirmations while you're like, this water is washing away my worries. I'm cleansing myself. I'm cleansing my energy so that you can, switch it up and start to access that calmness that you're looking for.
Yeah.
I find it to be really helpful.
Just a complete reset. Like, I don't have time to take a nap and start again. So a 5-minute shower to signal to my brain that we're starting over. This is like a do-over on today. Today, take 2.
Yeah. And it hits a lot of different parts of your wellness wheel, right? Because it's that self-care. You're caring for your skin, for your body, cleaning your aura and your energy, and you're getting out of your headspace and into a new moment. You're starting over. It's very symbolic. So we love it.
Tool number 7. Notice what's happening with you. Almost like a third person zoom out, like you're observing what's happening. So you're detaching from you being in the middle of this anxiety or these circling thoughts. And if you can kind of zoom out and be an observer and say, what am I seeing happening in here? Whose voice am I hearing here? Because that's not my voice talking, although it does sound familiar. Whose is it?
Mm-hmm. When you hear you're not good enough, or that's really scary, or why would you do that? Whose voice is that really? Like, did you have an anxious parent growing up? Are they afraid of traveling? Did you have a coach that didn't believe in you on a sports team that you played? Being able to differentiate that voice from your higher self and you at the core and your authentic being is going to be really helpful for you to be able to get out of that headspace and realize, wait a second, this isn't authentically me. This is either fear speaking, this is inner critic, or this is, a parent or a figure in my life whose voice I'm hearing right now, who said these things over and over again.
Yeah, these are implanted criticisms. Were you part of a relationship, either a romantic relationship or a friendship that wasn't healthy for you, but you couldn't see it at the time? So this person sent you messages, told you things that you internalized, and every now and then, even though maybe you've done a lot of work to process, sometimes those messages are down so deep that they crop up in opportune moments where you're already low, where you're already feeling anxious. So you're not in a place to rationally respond to them and say, you're not real. You're an old message that I've dealt with. Mm-hmm. And in these moments of weakness is when they can crop in, and you'll be hearing you're so selfish. Like, no, I'm not. I know who it was in my past who put that message in me. And there was a time I believed it. I don't. And I'm not going to fall for it.
Mm-hmm. Tool number 8, balance your blood sugar. Now, this one is really important, and we've learned a lot from the nutritionists we've worked with, through the nutritional therapy practitioners that have been on the show, like our good friend Carla, who have taught us a lot about the physicality impacting our mentality. And the fact that our blood sugar issues are actually quite pervasive. You know, when you experience that after lunch crash, or you wake up tired, or you wake up and you're not hungry for breakfast, all these things are so normalized in society when in actuality, there's something that needs to be addressed within the body that could really, really free you from all this stress and anxiety. So balancing your blood sugar is crucial. When our blood sugar is low, a cascade of events is triggered within our body. The adrenal glands release adrenaline and cortisol, the stress hormones, telling our liver to break down glycogen into glucose and then releases it into the bloodstream, causing a host of issues, which leads to anxiety and stress.
So go have a snack.
Paying attention to your blood sugar is really important. So we offer you up the tool of working with a practitioner, getting your blood work done, checking your levels, just making sure that you're in a good spot, you know, regularly going to the doctor just for your regular checkup every year to make sure that there's something, you know, invisible to you that you're not seeing that can actually be addressed and really, really help you. This is something that I've been working on a lot lately, if you can't tell. And it's really changing my life for the better. And I'm now making friends with my hanger and understanding that she's not normal, and my poor husband shouldn't have to deal with her wrath, and that I gotta get it under wraps.
Right. The people around you shouldn't have to deal with it, and you shouldn't either. Those feelings are really not fun to have, and you shouldn't have to go through them. So once you can learn your patterns and recognize the early warning signs in yourself, it's typically a very easy fix on this one. You just have to be prepared.
Right. Who knew that your, afternoon crashes or the anxiety that you get around 3 p.m. every day or your irritability that you're experiencing actually could be a simple fix, like getting your blood sugar under control.
Right.
That's honestly kind of empowering. So we hope that these 8 simple tools for grounding can help inspire you, and maybe some of them resonated with you that you can start using today to keep your anxiety at bay and to access that calmness that is within you.
That's what we're here for, to help you with these tools and to practice them and report back to you what's been effective. We'd love if you have something that you use in the moment that you'd like to alert us to. We'd love to hear all about it. You can DM us. You can leave it in a review. You can email us at sfowpodcast@gmail.com.
If you like this episode, please share it with a friend. It's wonderful if you have that friend or person in your life that equally cares about well-being and personal growth just like you do, and they might really benefit from this type of information, and it's something fun to talk about.
Thank you so much for listening. Have a great week. Peace, love, and light.
Mwah. We love you. Peace, love, and light. The Soulful of Wellness hosts are certified health and wellness coaches. This podcast is intended to inform and entertain listeners on their wellness journey. This podcast is meant to enhance, not replace, listeners' care from doctors, therapists, or other medical providers.